Welcome to this Ziperase instructional video. In today's video, we're going to set up and install Array Erase on a computer host. Array Erase software will allow us to erase large volumes of individual drives or any direct attached storage, even storage area network cabinets. Before we get started, let's talk about what we'll need to install Array Erase on our computer. A 64-bit Intel-compatible processor with at least 4 cores. 8 GB of memory. 30 GB of free space on our hard drive, and an Ethernet connection. We'll need a primary connection to our corporate network or the internet to access the command center remotely, and keep an eye on our license usage in real time. We'll need a USB stick with a minimum capacity of 4 GB to create the portable USB drive with Array Erase software. It's important to note that the USB drive will be completely reformatted, and any existing data on that drive will be lost. Don't plug the USB into the computer just yet. We're going to download and install the software first, and I'll let you know when it's ready to go. Let's get started. First, let's log into the Ziperase customer portal. We can get there from the link in the top right of the Ziperase website, or by typing portal.ziperase.com into the search bar. Fill in your login details to get access to the customer portal. The Downloads tab is on the left. We're going to download the latest Array software and the Boot Media Creator from here. Let's go to our Downloads folder. Here they both are, and we can double-click on Boot Media Creator to get the Windows installer started. We might get some protection pop-ups, and we can safely choose to allow the app to run. This takes us right to the Setup wizard, and we can click Next, and then install Boot Media Creator. That will be done in just a few minutes. The wizard is telling us that setup is complete, so let's check the Launch Boot Media Creator box, and click the Finish button to launch the Boot Media Creator application. Let's go to the Installer tab and click Browse for Product Installer ISO to install the Array software we just downloaded. There it is. Let's open that and give it a couple of minutes. Now it's time to plug in our USB. We can see it appear in the device list right away. If we have multiple USB devices connected, we can click the drop-down menu to select the right one. Remember, the drive we use will be completely reformatted, and any existing data on that drive will be lost. Once we've selected the appropriate USB, we can click Start. This is going to begin the process of formatting and installing the Array software to create our bootable USB drive. The green progress bar up here will keep us updated. Once it's done, we'll see the All Finished message on the green progress bar. That's it. We've got a bootable USB complete with the Array Erase ISO, the base operating system, and application stack. We can close this window, safely remove our USB from this computer, and plug our Array USB into our host computer. Let's power up and look for a message on how to reach the boot menu. On this computer it's F12, on yours it might be F2, Escape, or Delete. We can see a list of boot options on this screen, and here's the USB we want to boot from. I can just arrow down to select the USB and click Enter, and a message tells me that we are booting from the Ziperase Array USB. Once that's done, the Array installer will pop up, and we can choose our hard drive. Your options will appear here. I only have one, and it's already selected. Once you've selected the correct hard drive, click Install. This will just take a few minutes. When that's finished, we need to safely remove our USB. Then click here to reboot, so our changes take effect. The computer will reboot to our desktop, with the Array pop-up ready to go. It's going to walk us through some basic settings, adding licenses, and launching the Array software. Let's begin by clicking Configure. The first thing we need to do is check that the time and date has been set correctly. It's important to do this before erasing or using the license tool for a number of reasons. Use the drop-down to select your time zone, or you can click into the fields to edit them. Click Next for branding, where you can upload your company logo or client logos to appear on erasure certificates. Next, we have a configuration option for enclosures. Once we equip our host machine with an HBA, we can connect it to enclosures with multiple drives. This is where we can label those enclosures. The configurations will be saved on this machine for future data erasure processes. This is very helpful for operators erasing large numbers of loose drives. Next is an option to fine-tune your CSV report layout. You can stick with the industry standard default or go for a custom setup, where you can add, remove, or rearrange information. We also offer PDF and JSON formats. I'll show you where to find those. For step-by-step instructions, refer to the Array user manual in the Download section of the Ziperase customer portal. Click Next to see that configuration has been successful, and we can quit back to the Array welcome screen. Now, let's add some licenses. First, let's select the number of licenses we need, with the plus and minus buttons. This host machine has an internet connection, so we can transfer those licenses directly from the Ziperase customer portal. If our host machine was offline, we could generate a request key instead. Fill in your username and password here, and click Send Request. If you've requested more licenses than are available, you'll get a message like this. Let's go back and change that to 3. Our request was successful. We have 3 licenses available to use on this machine. We can click OK and close this window. We're ready to erase. Click 3, Launch Array, to open the user interface. You can see we have 1 drive attached. Let's have a look at the GUI. In the top left corner, you'll find the Start button, which erases all attached drives simultaneously. For individual drive erasure, just click the Start button on the drive you want. The first drive, Disk 1, is right here. Click Extra to change or add information to the disk asset ID. The Blink button helps you find drives easily. You just click it, and the light next to the hard drive starts flashing. It's so useful for quickly and accurately finding a single drive in a large enclosure. The Data button allows you to see the data on the disk, sector by sector. Here we can start or cancel the erasure process for this drive. Over here are some details about the drive, and the automatically assigned disk asset ID. Over here you can select the erasure method for each drive. There's a wide variety to choose from, including NIST and DoD. Check the user manual for more information on erasure methods. At the top right of the screen, you'll see the Blink All button. This handy feature lights up all the drives at once, making it super easy to identify all drives connected to this host. At the bottom of the screen, we can see the Configuration tool. This is where you can configure settings that will apply to all the drives erased on this machine. For example, there's an option to automatically fail a drive if it fails the Smart Health Check. Setting up these preferences before starting the erasure process is a real time saver. It also helps you avoid unnecessary costs if a drive doesn't need erasing. You've got a lot of flexibility here. You can choose different erasure methods, decide on the sample size, and even specify actions to take after erasure. You can also choose to write a fingerprint on the drive, confirming it's been erased. At the very bottom, you can add extra fields to your process. There are options for yes and no answers, numbers, or text. Extra fields really is customizable to whatever you need. You can make these fields mandatory or optional. For more details, check out the Array user manual. Next, we can see the number of available licenses. As we start erasing drives, we'll see the license count decrease. And just next to that is the Reports button. We'll have a look at this after erasure. Bottom right you'll see the date displayed, and this is another reminder to ensure your machine's date and time are correctly set during the configuration. It's important to remember that any disk or drive erased with Ziperase software cannot be recovered. Do not start erasing any drive that may contain data that may be required in the future. First, let's attach some more drives. The great thing about this software is that when you plug in a drive, the software automatically recognizes it, no extra steps needed. Now we've got 3 different drives connected. I'm going to choose the erasure method for each drive and start the erasure process for them individually. As the erasure begins, you'll notice a green progress bar. This bar shows you how long the erasure will take and how much time has already passed. We can see specific details about the erasure process, including the speed at which the data is being erased for each drive. Another cool feature here is the ability to hot swap drives. We can remove a drive as soon as its erasure is complete and then plug in another one right away. And yes, you can even add more drives while the erasure process is ongoing for other drives. Once the erasure process is finished, you'll notice green check marks next to the drives that have successfully passed the erasure. But if a drive fails, you'll see a red X beside it. Don't worry, there's more information to help you understand what went wrong. Along the drive line, there will be an error message that explains the issue with the failed drive. If you want to dig deeper into each drive's details, just click on the disk button. This will display detailed information about the disk, including the test results. Reports are down at the bottom, or we can press the F10 key. We can see them in CSV, JSON, or PDF formats. This flexibility is great because it lets you easily export this information to your ERP system, or you can even save it on a thumb drive for transport. The PDF erasure certificate shows the erasure results and the details of each drive. There's a separate certificate for each drive, plus another one that includes all the details for the entire batch of drives. This makes it easy to keep track of the erasure process for individual drives and for the batch as a whole. That's it, we're finished erasing and we have full report information and erasure certificates ready. We've added links in the description to the Quick Start Guide with written instructions for this process, and the FAQs for array erase on our website. The user manual is a great resource that's available from the customer portal. And if you need some extra help, or have a suggestion or query that isn't answered on our website or the user manual, there's also a link to the Ziperase support section where we can raise a customer service request. Thanks for watching.